To my thing, which the thing is called Behind the Desk. It's been I don't think it's been that long, has it? Maybe like a month? A month sounds about right. I don't really want to check. But the last video I put out was Ralph Breaks the Internet and me bitching about how bad it was. But maybe, apparently, it isn't so bad. But fuck that. I do not agree. I think it's a shitty movie, and I'll stick to that opinion till the day I die. But I have another video that I should have been working on for a while, and I just haven't. I've been lazy. Also, like, life, you know? So, whatever. But I'm making this right now just so I can kind of put something out there. And also because I finished reading a manga and it pissed me off royally. So, considering me finishing that and things that I've played and watched, I want to talk about how to end a series or just anything in a good way and a really shitty way. So let's talk about it. So I'm using 4 examples, and I'm going to spoil basically all of them since I'm talking about endings, if that wasn't obvious to you, of course. And those 4 things is the most recent How to Train Your Dragon movie, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the manga that I finished, Prison School, and Kingdom Hearts 3, which, woo boy, yeah, I gotta make a video on that one, don't I? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. All right, so I'm gonna start what's with fresh on my mind, and I'm gonna talk about Prison School because I started Prison School before the anime came out, but I didn't get that far. I only got a couple chapters in, then I just kind of stopped. Then I really went into it, and then I loved it, and then I got past I got about at the halfway mark, and then it was getting very, like, tense, and I was excited, but I was also very scared. And I was scared because I didn't want it to go to shit. Like, I was really worried that it would be good for so long, and then something really shitty happens that would ruin the story. And luckily, that didn't happen right up to, like, the last 2 chapters, because everything went to shit right at the end. So, if you don't know what Prison School is manga, anime, whichever one you want to go with, that's about, like, 5 guys who entered an all-girl school. For the first time, boys are allowed in it, but there's a prison within the school, and it's all run by, like, a student council. Head of the student council thinks that guys are scum. They end up in the jail because they try to, like, peep on the school girls' bathroom thing, because I guess it's all dormitories. And the series is just them trying to get out of the prison because they get framed for some shit, and they try to get plotted against. And then when they get out, the girls end up in the prison because they did a whole bunch of fucked up shit to the guys, so they're just following rules. And then this other council in the school starts to fuck with them, and then it becomes a whole thing about, okay, well, this new student council kind of sucks dick, so let's get the old ones back. And this whole thing. Throughout the whole story, the guys, they go through shit, of course, because it's pretty much torture in that school, but they stay anyway to prove a point, I guess. It's not to prove a point. It's so they could see a wet t-shirt contest in the summer, because, yep. So, the main character, what the fuck is his name, Kyoshi? He goes through the most hell. And of course he does, because he's the main character. So I'm not really going to give a whole bunch of context to this, mainly because if I try to explain everything, it'd probably be a video in itself, and I don't really want to do that. So basically, in support of basically everybody that's important to the story, he goes through a lot of shit, and he takes it like a fucking champ. I'm going to try to remember everything that happened to him. And again, no context. Prison School is a very perverted, weird humor series. So if you didn't know that, you can check it out. It's really good, but here we go. He gets a stick in the ass, fakes having hemorrhoids in the ass. He catches a girl, Hana, one of the people in the main, main trio of the females, the student council. Catches her peeing completely by accident. It was not intentional. He was up on a tree and fell and landed in front of her, peeing in like a little. It was an accident, all right? It wasn't on purpose. And then because of that, they go through a whole trend of basically her going, whip your dick out, you're gonna piss in front of me, and then I'm gonna piss on you, take it. So that turned into him peeing on her stealing his first kiss, and him doing the same to her from like a makeout session. His dick accidentally touching her vag, and her getting pissed off about it. Him 69ing with the president of the student council because they think they get poisoned by snakes. And it's not like a real 69, it's like almost 69. They're just in the position. Then it's used as blackmail almost. He gets actually pissed on by Hana, who, by the way, literally fills his dorm room with like ankle sized up with piss. Like he is kicking piss with his feet, like is drenched. Then she kisses him again with like meaning this time, because at this point in the story she develops feelings but doesn't really know how to express it and just kind of own up to it. Then because of that situation, and because they almost got caught by Kyoshi's crush Chio, who is the sister of the main president, they end up swapping underwears, getting comfortable with each other's underwear, and so they decide to keep them and wear them. I think I hit the mic, oh god. Then in like a really climactic moment in front of the entire school, he gets a hard on, scares a bunch of girls, but then like a slut starts to shame him a little bit. Then his boner starts to go, but then it comes back up, and then Hana tries to kick his underwears down to show the panties so it can be embarrassing or whatever, so it can show that he's a creep. But by doing that, his shorts come off and his dick pops out of the panties, exposing it to the world, and he physically dies. Like he comes out of himself and angels try to take him to heaven. He literally dies. It's fucking dumb. But then it comes back, whatever. It gets into this like hysteria state, and then whatever, right? Student council gets out of jail, but Kyoshi goes through mad shit, and from the sound of it, it's all like sexual stuff. So like, oh, how bad is it? Everything he does with Hana involving all the piss, it's all meant to be a secret, and like she doesn't want anybody to find out about any of it, and Kyoshi keeps it a secret. Like he's straight. He's like, I respect you. I understand you don't want any of this shit to get out. I'm not gonna say anything. And he never says anything throughout the entire story. This dude goes through shit like crazy by everybody. Not to say that the other guys don't go through shit, because they do. But by the end of it, it's Chio's birthday. The girl that Kyoshi likes. And so they're all gonna celebrate at like kind of a river or like a lake, right? The guys by the end of the story kind of have girlfriends that their shit developed over time. The president decides for some reason that she's gonna leave the school and study abroad, and because of this, the rival from the other student council and the vice president from the main student council go to try to reach her at the airport. And Kyoshi is running late because of this, and so he's behind. Everybody else, though, they're going on time, but then decide to fuck around and then end up getting kind of taken by a river and just kind of stay there and just kind of make fun for it. But then completely forget about Chio, who's late on her own, but ends up by herself for the majority of the time. So the only person to get there is Hana, And she gets there and tells her everything. Like, she starts telling her about everything that her and Kyoshi did, and then Kyoshi runs to it. Like, he gets there and like gets there while it's happening. And so the both of them are like, fuck it, we're gonna get it out there. And like, he wanted to confess his love to her, and I guess Hana went there to kind of stop it and be like, you should not be dating this guy, he's fucking weird, he's a freak, da 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 da. And so they tell her everything, and then Chio still decides, fuck it, it's kind of weird, but I'm sure everything he's done was for a reason, and I can try to be what he likes, right? And so for like 2 seconds, they're together. 2 fucking seconds. And side note, while all of this is going on, he has to piss. Because he ran his ass off. It was like raining and everything. Like, that dude was stressing out because he got stopped by a cop. And he couldn't like pay for flowers because his wallet was lost. Like, he was stressed, so he had to pee, right? So Hana was feeling some type of way, and she starts to like kind of freak out, and then Kyoshi starts to kind of dig into her, and so she's like, give me my underwear back. Kyoshi's like, what the fuck? I don't have them. I don't have your underwear. And so she takes his off because she's wearing his underwear. She's like, boom, here's yours, give me my shit back. And he was like, I don't have it, they're in the dorm. So she pins him down, rips his pants off. He's wearing her panties, and then he finally pisses in front of Hana and Chio, and that's been the goal for like the start, and it finally happens. And when it does, it just kind of cuts back to the school, and Chio is the new president of the student council, and she's calling guys scum just like her sister. That's a fine ending, right? Like, I don't have the biggest issue with that ending. My problem with it is that throughout the whole series, there's always a lot of planning for like schemes and shit. With every plan and with every action, there's always some sort of explanation, and they always go out of their way to like be specific about shit that's happening. In the most important time ever, where you're spilling the beans about us, like all of the secrets that you've kept within the entire series, the main character Kyoshi, who went through all of that shit and was kind of forced to do everything, he never at any point in time in that confession was like, well, all of this started because Hana forced it to. I saw her pee by accident, and then she came on to me and forced all of this other shit on me, and I was just kind of stuck in the situation. If that was said, then everything would be way better. Like, it wouldn't have happened. I spoke to my girlfriend about this because she saw the anime finally, and I told her what happened since the anime doesn't finish, and she told me that it doesn't sound that bad, and I might be overthinking it. And I'm open to think that I'm overthinking this, but the main character went through so much shit, and he's the only character at the end of the story to really not get anything he deserved. You know? You would think after all the shit that he went through, and like making a fool of himself for pretty much the entire series, and by the end of it becoming a laughing stock in the school, while all the other guys have kind of overcome that and got past that phase where all of the girls are bullying them. That's not happening anymore, and they all have girlfriends. Oh god. He's the only one that doesn't get that, and he's the one that deserves it the most. That really bothered me, and it bothered me a lot more that, you know, it spends the entire series doing something with all this exposition and then not do it one time in the most crucial moment. And then with the president, when they go to try to stop her at the airport, they never find her, and then she just kind of leaves. Why? Like, what? Why? What does that do? You're removing an entire moment that could be very impactful and give even more character development, and you're not doing that. You just kind of, okay. Throughout the thing, she admits that like having the guys in the school isn't so bad, and it was more fun. But then she still comes to the conclusion that men are scum, which I don't understand. It's a bit of a contradictory, isn't it? Like, I feel like that has no meaning when you do that. And then her relationship with the vice president goes way back to like middle school, but then she doesn't tell her that she's leaving, but then she tells the bitch that was fighting against her to try to torture her. Why? Like, that made no sense. There's like one page and like 2 panels of maybe an explanation, but it never comes from the president herself, so it's only an assumption. So why the fuck would we, as a reader, take that as the actual reason? That doesn't mean anything to me. And so when they don't find her, they just kind of end up on the beach side and they eat a snack in silence. What the fuck is that? I don't know. It was like 275 chapters of pure gold, pure comedy, fucking lewdness, strategy, and like it was all of these things that on the surface, when you look at it from an outside, and probably even my explanation of things that happened is so fucking weird, but when it comes together, it's really enjoyable. But then it's all stripped away from you right at the fucking end because the person that deserves the most gets absolutely nothing. If Chio was to become the new president of a student council and her not to like men, that's one thing. Like, I'm fine with that, honestly. But then for Kyoshi to not even get together with Hana, who likes him, but never at once is like, I fucking like you, I'm jealous, maybe I'm better for you. Like, none of that should happen. And it feels super out of character. Maybe not out of character, but in my head, I feel like if that happened, it's in character for Chio to be like, you guys seem like you're better off together than you would be with me, so go to her. I don't know. That's one example of really shitty ending from a really good story. Hopefully I explained that good enough. Alright, so now I want to talk about How to Train Your Dragon. And I'm going to talk much more briefly about it, and I'm going to talk about all 3 movies as a whole. How to Train Your Dragon, throughout all 3 movies, I think had a very good progression of maturity. Maybe not maturity, but it was good flow, you know? Like, it kept shit together really nicely, and it didn't branch off into something that was kind of made characters devolve, you know? It never reverted them back to something shitty. Hiccup was, you know, he was insecure, he was quiet, he was always scared, and like in the first movie when he was still basically a kid, and you know, when he met Toothless and built the bond and realized the dragons aren't, you know, scary and they don't have to be harmful or whatever, he comes out of his shell more and he becomes more secure about the shit that he wants to do and who he is, and that's good. In the second movie, it's mostly, you know, just him being a better version of his younger self, and it takes away his father but finds his mother. So it was kind of the perfect middle ground, because it even set up for the most recent movie where everybody's kind of telling them that he needs to take more charge in running his, you know, like village or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like his group. Since, you know, his father's dead, now he's the one in charge. And it kind of circles back around to, you found yourself in the first movie, and now you need to have, you know, the confidence for everybody else because you're the one in charge. And in terms of like Toothless, first movie they bond, second movie they kind of fall, but come back together by the end of it. And in this one, it's about pretty much letting him go, because even though it was all kind of a bait, he did find another Night Fury, and they get together and mate for, you know, out of love and to make babies. And so since by the second movie Toothless becomes like basically king of dragons, he was the one in charge of all of the dragons that were within Berk. And so when this new dragon hunter comes to try to kill Toothless, they all run, find a new home and all this shit. But then by the end of that movie, Hiccup realizes that he can't hold on to him for forever, and that he found something that he really wants, and realized that he doesn't belong with humans. And so when Hiccup releases Toothless, everybody else releases their dragons, and when Toothless leaves, they all leave. But then, you know, Hiccup gets married, and then I forgot his fucking girlfriend's name. Jesus Christ, I'm so horrible. But they have kids. They have 2 kids, and then they never really forget Toothless because they go visit him in like the home of all dragons. And I think it's a really good story of like maturity and just learning. You know, it's all about it. Like, you learn lessons throughout the movie, like all of the movies. You're always learning something. Yeah, no character ever devolves. They never go back to a really shitty character trait that was there before. Even though, granted, if you really think about it, some of the characters are pretty fucking shallow. They're just never bad, and I like that. And considering that Hiccup is the main character, he's the one that matures the most. And it shows in every way, like physically and mentally and throughout all of his actions. He's always acting more mature throughout the movies. And, you know, the trilogy ended in a nice little fucking bow. And I didn't really think about this until now, but Toothless also matures pretty much just as much as Hiccup does, because he starts out kind of a loner and, you know, I'm ready to kill if necessary. Then he softens up to then become basically the fucking leader of all dragons, and then he has pretty much the same job Hiccup has in the last movie, where he has to be sure to be a good leader to all the dragons and keep them under control. And then he, I guess, matures in the sense that he goes on his own again for him to find, or not to find, but to be with the other dragon he loves and to mate. So it's a nice, yeah, it's like a duo maturity. Yeah. So I pray that that they don't do what they did to Shrek and make like 2 extra movies that were fucking shit, but you know, it's good. Natural progression, maturity, it's good. And now I'm gonna try to be real brief with Kingdom Hearts 3, cause oh fucking I haven't touched Kingdom Hearts 3 since I beat it, minus like 1 time, but Kingdom Hearts 3 is weird to talk about when it's about an ending, because it was like 13 years in the waiting, something like that. And even if it wasn't 13 years, we were still waiting for the game for like 5 or 6 years to come out when it was announced. And oh my god, it was so easy, you know? It wasn't that hard. All you had to do was just kill Xehanort. Just kill Xehanort. Even though no one really dies. No one ever really dies in Kingdom Hearts, but just beat him and then everybody's happy. Like, if you really paid attention to all the trailers, you already knew that everybody from old games that we thought were gone for good were gonna come back. Like, that was obvious. And they do. They all come back. Even fucking Naminé, for some reason. Like, who gives, why? Like, I like Naminé, but fucking, what? You didn't even get new clothes. So what the fuck are you doing? You're still wearing a white ass dress. But oh my god. But they mostly did it. They mostly did it. The thing that really bothers me about Kingdom Hearts 3 is that it was confirmed a while ago that Kingdom Hearts is going to keep going after 3, and this is just the end of one saga, right? And you know what? Fine. Kingdom Hearts is fucking ridiculous in its storytelling and all that shit, so I'll live with it. They said Sora would still be the main character, so I was like, okay, I don't know if I'd prefer that because I never really thought about it, but I'll live with it. We'll see how that goes. And then the game came out, and it was fucking dumb. So they promoted the fact that like Kairi was gonna fucking like fight, right? She had a Keyblade now. She went to train in this fucking whatever world that Merlin created. That just kind of, that time just didn't fucking matter. And like, so she was training with Axel, Lee, whatever the fuck you want to call him, and it was good. It was like, oh shit, Kairi's gonna do something in this game. Nah, bro. Nah. What the fuck you mean Kairi's gonna do something? No. Oh my god. She had a Keyblade in the hand. Fucking like in the hand with a Keyblade, right? Still got snatched by fucking Xehanort. Not Xehanort, Xemnas. You know. She got snatched by Xemnas even when she had a Keyblade out. Bitch, you didn't move! What are you doing? Oh my god. You didn't move you moved while he like tightened his grip on your wrist. Bitch, you can move the Keyblade between your hands. Did training in a world where time doesn't matter, did you not have enough time to learn that? Bitch! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. You get like a whole like scene of cutscenes, right? Where like the whole 7 lights have some time to like rest and process before they go to the Keyblade War, right? They have like a whole day, like a whole night. And everybody gets interactions with each other. It's cool, right? Like, it's nice to see characters just kind of chill and talk to each other. Even though fucking I hate... You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna talk about it here. But Kairi and Sora have like a moment at Destiny Island where they finally share a Paopu fruit with each other, right? And when you eat that with someone, it's supposed to mean that like you stay with each other's, you stay within each other's lives forever, right? And Kairi's like, I want to be a part of your life forever, and that's it. Like that's all. So like they finally they share one finally from Kingdom Hearts 1. You know, and that was like a really good moment because people were waiting for that forever. You know, I don't really care that much about romance in Kingdom Hearts as much as other people do. I really don't give a fuck. But it's nice to see, right? And in that moment, they were like, Kairi, I'm gonna keep you safe. And she was like, nah, bro. Let me keep you safe now, right? So when they all, like, actually die, right? From a Storm of Heartless, which was kind of a dumb moment. Fucking whatever. He's trying to find his way back and trying to find Kairi or whatever. And so, like, Kairi was the light in the darkness that brought him back, right? That's all the bitch did. Like, that's how she kept him safe. Because then the bitch got kidnapped. And then she got fucking axed in the back. She got fucking got. And that shit was so upsetting. Like, I really hated it. Like, there was no impact for me. Especially because in that moment, they didn't build it up at all. It just kind of happened. Like, it was nothing. So, like, even before that, right? You're fighting all the organization members. And every time you beat them, they have, like, a little exchange with Sora. And it's really cool to see, honestly. Like, those little moments were really nice. But then you have Larxene teasing a secret. And then you have fucking, what is it, Luxord giving Sora a card and being like, hey, I want you to have this. It could turn the tides. What the fuck does that mean? Sora never uses any card ever throughout the rest of the game in that final moment. So what the fuck? When you're actually dead, you can speak to 2 like stranded stars, right? One of them is Namine and explains like how Lingering Will basically helps you the second time you try to go into like the Keyblade graveyard. And then the other one is just kind of an unknown person that people are speculating to be Streliza, who was somebody in a fucking mobile game that got killed by, I think, someone. right? It wasn't like a Heartless or a Nobody or anything. Mind you, you can miss speaking to this person, so you might not even know that it happened until you actually see it from somewhere else, or maybe I just told you and you just found out. Alright, so whatever. So the game ends, you beat Xehanort, and then you find out that he was kind of a good person this whole time, because he wanted to, like, reset things so people wouldn't be able to, like, use darkness for or some shit. It's so weird. Like, whatever. I'm not explaining it well, but it's because it's just so dumb to me that they would try to make Xehanort seem like a good person after all of the shit he did in Birth by Sleep and how bad of a person he was. Like, it's not, you can't make that character redeemable. Like, Vanitas was pure darkness, and they kept him as pure darkness, and that's fine, because that's what he is. But trying to make Xehanort good? No, fuck that. In Kingdom Hearts 1, Ansem got fucking blown into smithereens by light, and then Kingdom Hearts 2, we blast we blast Xemnas with a beam of light, and then by the end of that, we axe that motherfucker down with one more combo, and then he fades. But then fucking with Xehanort, you beam light him, right? But then you guys just kind of stand there for a little bit. Everybody comes back, and then fucking Master Ericus's heart kind of walks out of Terra and is like, yo, bro, what are you doing? And then he's like, you right. And then he leaves. And then, like, then he dies, and his heart fades with Ericus's, and they just kind of go into the sky. What the fuck is that? No, oh my god. No. Oh my god. And, you know, I have a lot of issues with that ending and, like, all of those little things that happen within the last moments of the game, because it's an unsatisfying ending to a villain that's done basically a lot of shit. A lot of the bad stuff that's happened within the series, right? They try to redeem him, and he shouldn't be redeemable. And then it's very anticlimactic when the whole fight ends. And then you try to keep setting up for future games by throwing in all these little things with Luxord and Larxene and Streliza, if that's her. Even when you have the conversation with Naminé, it's like, hey, I still haven't thanked you yet, so I want to do that still. Don't worry, I'm gonna keep that promise. It's so, like, why are you doing that? You're gonna make more sagas, right, with different villains, even though one of them's kind of the same. But then you're gonna still try to keep ties with a past saga? What? That doesn't seem right to me. Or am I just fucking insane? Like, if you're gonna do sagas, you do one saga, everything that happens in that finishes in that, and then you start everything else in the new one. Don't finish most in one saga. Start some new shit in the same saga while not finishing it for it to finish in a different saga. Fuck that. That shit is so dumb to me. Again, I'm gonna have to make a video on this shit because it stresses me out. I love Kingdom Hearts, by the way. Played every one of them. I love them. But, alright. So, alright. Kingdom Hearts closed. Happy day. Villain is beat. But Kairi's still dead. And Sora's like, nah. I'm gonna get her back. And I'm gonna go alone. Mind you, he's going to do this with the power of waking. Which basically got no explanation as to what it is until, like, the last hour or two of the game. And even then, you barely get anything. It's like, okay, the power of waking is strong, but then it's dangerous. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? We've been trying to get the power of waking for the whole fucking game, and now it's a danger to us? Why? What the fuck? So whatever. We go alone. Everybody's happy. and together, like basically every character. Oh, hold on, hold the fuck up. Lee and Aiza speak to each other before they fight at the Keyblade Graveyard in Twilight Town, and then we find out about a girl that they were trying to find or save or something. I haven't heard of a girl before. This is news to me. Who the fuck is the girl? Oh, is that more shit for the next saga? Wonderful! Alright, anyway. So everybody's happy together again. They're on Destiny Islands having fun. And then they all kind of look to the tree that they always sit on. And it's Kairi. And it's with Sora. And they like have hands on each other. Like they're holding each other's hands or whatever. And then Kairi looks up at Sora, but then starts crying. And then when the camera pulls back, Sora gets fucking Thanos'd and fades away. And then the game ends. What the fuck? Like, it's made for you to have a reaction, and it's made for you to feel something, right? But then, when you are well aware that Sora is gonna still be the main character of all of the future games, that has no impact. And it has less of an impact when you get the secret ending and you're showing Sora. You're not allowed to do that at that point. If you're gonna tease that Sora's dead, but then you show him moving around in a secret ending, what the fuck do I care that he faded? Like, that shit doesn't matter anymore. And we get these little trinkles that, you know, the power of waking is bad and your time is being limited or whatever. But we don't get an explanation as to why. And it's so weird because, yeah, the storytelling in Kingdom Hearts is kind of not great. But Kingdom Hearts 3 took the time to explain a lot of things, or at least a lot of the past things that have happened. So why is it now that they decide, hey, we're not gonna tell you why this is bad?
It just kind of is.
Fuck is that? And you know, it actually is kind of like prison school, whereas, you know, there's always some sort of explanation to things, but then at the most crucial moment, you don't get enough context, and you're just supposed to just live with it. What? Why? That shit doesn't make sense. Kingdom Hearts did, or at least Nomura decided to go with more shock value and, hey, don't worry, you're still gonna get more Kingdom Hearts, instead of giving a really fucking easy ending that everybody's been waiting for, and instead was like, I don't know, I don't like it. Lack of explanation when it's needed the most ruins everything. And when you have so much other context to make that ending that's supposed to be very impactful very meaningless, you're not doing a good job writing an ending. But, alright, last thing I'm talking about is Avatar: Last Airbender. And I honestly don't have a whole lot to say about it that other people haven't, since it's so good. And it's that Avatar: Last Airbender was planned before its, like, conception, you know? The ending was already kind of planned out, and the process to get to the ending was already written from memory. Alright, you know, I've been talking for like almost 50 minutes. I can't find if it was or wasn't, but I'm gonna just roll with it. Avatar was planned ahead of time before they started producing it. They already had an ending in sight. They already, you know, conceived how and when things would happen. And when you plan ahead like that, everything goes along a lot smoother, you know? You already have your sight. You already know how you're gonna get there, and you already have all of the explanations as to why those things are happening. In the case of like a mangaka writing something and creating it, you know, weekly or monthly, you have less time to do that. And then you also have a lot of editors getting in the way of something that you might have originally wanted to do and now you can't because of sales or whatever, right? In film, when How to Train Your Dragon, you're supposed to do what Avatar did. You shouldn't really make last minute changes when, shit's already being produced. And if you do, then it becomes a lot of crunch work. In a video game, you also have a fuck ton of control over when that happens. I feel like video games and movies are the two things that you have the most control over in the creative process, since that's when everything should be planned. I don't know if Tetsuya Nomura, did this intentionally with his weird way of storytelling, but just because it all comes together to fans that have played everything, that doesn't mean it's a good way to tell a story. It only ever gives us the, oh, okay kind of thing, Avatar did it right and had, 3 to 4 seasons, and the fucking flow of that story was incredible. Everything blended together so well. It's easier for me to talk about things that are bad than it is for me to talk about stuff that's good, because Avatar, in terms of storytelling, did, I think, everything right, and it gave a satisfying ending. And it gave a satisfying ending because everybody got what they deserved. Everyone was redeemed that needed it. Everybody that didn't deserve it didn't get it, and it was just satisfying. It was satisfying, even if it might have been predictable to people, which I don't really think I knew anybody that was like, oh yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. It was still good. It was still fucking amazing, and it's because all of it was earned. Prison School and Kingdom Hearts, those endings weren't earned. Nothing happened. Everything that should have happened in the ending that could have happened and should have happened to complement everything that happened within the story itself didn't happen. It took the weirdest ways out. Avatar didn't do it. How to Train Your Dragon didn't do it. And because of that, in my opinion, How to Train Your Dragon is one of the best fucking animated trilogies ever fucking out there, and Avatar: Last Airbender is one of the best fucking shows ever. It's all deserved. When you plan ahead, it makes everything a lot easier, and it makes everything so much more satisfying at the end of it. But what the fuck do I know? I've never written a book. I've never made a film. What do I know? I know I rambled a fuck ton, and this is, Jesus Christ, 54 minutes. Oh my god. I spoke a lot about Prison School, didn't I? Look. Point is, give the characters that deserve something, just give it to them. And even if you don't make it seem like it's out of the blue. Make it fit in the story. Give exposition where it's needed the most. When it's not there and there's no explanation as to why these things are happening, then why the fuck would we care? Sorry this was almost a fucking hour.